Hi there. I'm going to talk a little bit about Canvas and Pearson and how we use both of those in our class. Well, for right now, I'm in Canvas. Yours is going to look a little bit different than mine does, but for the most part, it'll be about the same. So we're going to talk about this week one and use it as a demonstration. So at the beginning of each week, I usually have some instructions here. So if you click on that, it will have, just a few instructions for the week, maybe some comments about some of the videos, things like that. So you'll need to make sure that you read that each week. Now, next, I have the section notes. So I'm going to do a video, and in the video, I have notes, and here's a copy of the notes, and you can print this off. So here I've got section 3.1 and 3.2 and section 3.3. The 3.1 and 3.2 go with the video lesson, section 3.1 and 3.2. And then this section 3.3 notes goes with the video lesson in section 3.3. I may redo that video. It was a little blurry if I have time. But let's look. Go ahead and you can click on section 3.1, 3.2 notes. And here's a blank copy of the notes that I'll be going through. Now, you can just download that and run it off if you want to. You don't have to. It's up to you. After you run it off, if you want to, if you need to, you can watch the video lesson. So when you push this, all of this is in Canvas. When you push this, click on it, the YouTube video shows up for that section, 3.1 and 3.2. And then you can watch that, you can fast forward it. It's not required that you watch the videos. It's only there if you need it. All righty. This is pretty much all we use Canvas for. Oh, and then here's a homework. All right, this would be for the first week. Homework 3.1 to 3.2. So you need to do both videos before you did this homework. If you need to, you can start the homework and see how you do. And if you get stuck, you can go to the videos. You can go back to the videos and use those. Now the homework, I have the due date, January 27th. I'm going to change the 0 points. I just noticed that. I'll change it to 10. The homework would be worth 10 apiece. So when you click on this right here, it's not directly linking you to Pearson. You get this page, complete this assignment in My Math Lab. And if you click on that, probably give you a warning page. Nope, it didn't. It brings you to your sign in. So then you sign in and do the homework in My Math Lab. So here I'm gonna go back to this. All right, so again, in Canvas, you'll have instructions for the week. You can download the notes and copy them off. You can watch the videos for the lessons, and then it will have the homework and the date it's due. You can also use your calendar over here, the due dates for the homework and quizzes and tests. I also link them in the calendar. What you're not going to get in Canvas is your grade. The grade is all going to be in Pearson. So when you, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So mainly Canvas is for the notes and the videos, and when the homework's due, just kind of, keep you on track. And then also the instructions for the week. All righty. What we're now going to do is we're going to skip over to Pearson and talk about Pearson, where you'll spend 90% of your time in Pearson. This right here is a student view, all right, of a home. You've got a calendar. You can look at it as a month. You can look at it 2 weeks. If you don't want to do the month, there's nothing due here in 2 weeks, but in the month, you got an assignment due on the 27th and a couple due in February. And there'll be some added here. I'm just not done with the second week's worth of stuff yet. Let's see, then you can always arrow over to February to see. Okay, right here, I've got a test. No, sorry, that's a quiz on the 5th, right there. Okay, so that is one way to navigate your assignments, is to look at the calendar. Another way is if you scroll down, it will list the homework assignments. Now this is February. I want to go back to January. So you've got an assignment due January 27th. It's due at 11:59 by midnight. You could click here to get to that assignment, or you can click on the calendar link. You could click this dot and it'll take you to that assignment as well. A couple of choices. You can kind of play with this and learn to navigate Pearson. Here, over here, it tells you how many questions are on the assignment. Again, don't let that deter you, because some of the questions are very easy. And let's go ahead and click on an assignment. Oh, one other thing I forgot to tell you. Pearson uses pop-ups. You must allow pop-ups for Pearson. Now, if you have a Mac, you'll just have to look that up. I'm not really familiar with Macs. However, if you look at the URL over here, those of you that have a PC, there'll be a red dot over here. And if you click on that, it's like a little red cross thing. If you click on it, a little pop-up will say, allow pop-ups for Pearson, always. And you need to click on that. Pearson will not work unless you allow pop-ups. And that's very important. And sometimes it takes your computer a little while. Sometimes you do that a couple of times, allow pop-ups, before it finally gets the point and allows pop-ups. So, all right. And then also Macs, well, another thing is Macs, you need to use Chrome or Firefox, not Safari. For some reason, Pearson doesn't seem to work very well with a Mac and Safari. Just kind of help you out there. Okay, so what we have here is we have a list of the questions for that assignment. So you have questions, and you don't have to do them in a certain order. You can stop and save it and come back to it later. I have some, this is not the assignment that I wanted to look at. I wanted to go back. I wanted to look at 3.4 and 3.7. And again, you don't have to do these things in any particular order. It's up to you. Let's look at homework 3.4 and 3.5 that's due February 3rd by midnight. Let's see what we got. Okay, now this has 11 questions, and what I did is I did a couple of demonstrations for you here. Now you can resume, but this green here means that it was done correctly. This red X means it was done incorrectly. So if you ever have those, you can always go back and redo those. Pearson allows you they allow you 3 chances on a homework problem, and then they change it, the numbers, and they allow you 3 more on that same homework. And so really you can get 100% on every single homework assignment. Now let's go ahead and we're going to look at number 6 here. I'm going to click on number 6. And you can see why you need your pop-ups. This popped up. You can make it a larger screen. But okay, and then also now it lists the questions over here on the left. You can, here, yeah, I think I can go ahead and make it larger. You have the questions over here on the left, and you can collapse that if you want to. But what I wanted you to see on this one, not necessarily that we're going to do this problem, but when you click on the answer, this is where you're going to type your answer. When you click on this, notice down here. Now, if your answer is a fraction, you would push this and it creates a template down here. You click it and you have a template to type in your fraction. You can backspace. Normally, we don't use mixed numbers in this class. Algebra doesn't normally use a mixed number. If you want an exponent on a number, so let's say you wanted 5 squared, 5 to the second, you can go 5 and then press this down here, and it allows an exponent here. And then you could put your 2. It's going to count it wrong, but all right. So again, here are some of the templates that you may need. If it doesn't show up, you can always do more, but generally they give you the templates that you need. If you have a square root or square root, cube root, if you need a subscript, you can use that. And in these first two chapters, or the first couple of chapters, you're going to need a lot of ordered pairs. So you can push this one and fill in ordered pairs, like 2, 3, or whatever the point is. All right, so you can always use that as well. You can always use the parentheses on your computer, the top above the 9 and the 0. That will also work, but sometimes that's faster, then you just fill that in. Okay, now I also wanted to look, okay, number 8. Okay, it says you will not receive any credit for this attempt until you have checked your answer. Are you, yeah, I want to continue. You can always come back to it. Okay, this is number 8. So again, the slope is undefined and it was marked correct. But let's go to 10. Yeah, sometimes it's slow. So this is what makes Pearson tedious, is you have to type in your answers and you have to type them in a form that they like. So it's thinking. There we go. Yay. All right, so here, find the slope of the line containing the given pair of points. If the slope is undefined, state this. So what we're going to do is, see, this one was missed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to miss this again. So the slope is, we'll just say 3. And notice again, these showed up. Check answer. And you didn't get the correct answer here. So this happened to have been the 3rd time. And after the 3rd time, it kind of gives you a guide as to how to answer it. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't redo it. So you just press OK. Oh, and let's do this again. Let's put in 5. Let's see. I want it to get to a point where you have to do similar question. All right, try again. So again, they're giving you a little hint. All right, now, so this will be our 3rd attempt. Here, let's put in a fraction. Let's practice a fraction. We'll put in 2 over 3. And final check. So this is our 3rd one. It's giving us a final check. It tells you the correct answer was 1. Your answer was 2/3. So let's say you want to get the credit for that. So you do similar question, and all it's going to do is it's going to change these numbers up here. Similar question. It'll change those and allow you to get full credit on this one. So then, and then what happens when you do get a full credit, it changes the red X to a green check mark. All right, but that is an opportunity to get 100%. So you get 3 chances, do a similar question, 3 more, similar question, 3 more. Okay, now what we're going to look at is the bottom down here. We've got this help me solve this, view an example, and get more help. It's important to understand the difference between help me solve this and view an example. I don't know if we'll just use this one. So here, if you want help me solve this, it's going to actually walk you through step by step, using these numbers, how to solve it. And then it will automatically give you, when you're done, different numbers for you to solve. Now, why would you not want to use this? Because if you're doing a problem that has 7 parts and you get to the 7th part, and you've got all the other 6 parts right of that same question, if you get to the 7th part and you push help me solve this, you have to start all over again with part 1 with new numbers. So it's not as helpful unless you're really confused. What I like is view an example. An example, they give you different numbers and they will walk you through it. They give you the formula for the slope, and this can be quite helpful. You can find, and then they just kind of walk you through it. You know, they're finding the numerator here, the difference in the y's, and you press continue. Find the change in your x. And then you find the slope. And then, so then it's done. The answer would be 1. You can close it. And then you can answer this one using those steps. Sometimes this view an example, let's say you type your answer in, and let's say, what is this one? Let me go ahead and type, well, let me see. -11 minus a -8 over 3 minus 6. So we've got a -3, 1. All right. Well, let's say that you got 1, but you accidentally put in m equals 1, because m is the symbol for slope, for some of you that know that. Or you could write x equals something. You actually put that in. If you do this and you check your answer, it's going to say it's wrong, because like, man, really, I'm pretty sure I'm right. So you can go, okay, that's where view an example. Because if you go down and you go to their answer, it tells you, it kind of tells you the form that they want. Do they want a fraction? Do they want a decimal? Do they want it rounded off? So you can look at their answer and look at the form that it's in. So that is kind of helpful. So, and then it's kind of gives you well done. Then you can go on to the next question. But that's just sort of some ways of navigating some of the problems in Pearson and entering those. And you see, noticed it changed question number 10 to green. All righty, that can help you out. I'm going to leave. You can save your changes, and then we're just going to leave. Okay. So that would be this homework section. I wanted to talk about another section of the homework, 3.6 and 3.7. And I mainly wanted to demonstrate, because we'll be doing some graphing, how you can graph with Pearson. So let's look at number 21. Exact. All right. Okay, so they want you to graph this function right here. And it's not necessarily, because we'll be talking about it in the lessons on how to graph. I'm going to expand this out. But you can push, you see, there's this arrow here that you can push. I like this one. This will make it a little bit bigger. I don't know why you'd want to make it smaller. Maybe some people would. Or this is the one I like over here on the right, or you can click this one as well. If you click this one, it gives you this pop-up. Again, you have to allow pop-ups. Now, when you're graphing a line, you have choices. Is this linear? Is it an absolute value, a parabola with an x squared, a parabola with a y squared, or a circle? We're mainly going to be doing these linear ones. So you push this. This is kind of nice. You push this here, and then you'll have to go over and click on a point. And notice, okay, as I'm moving my cursor, the top hand right of this pop-up, it changes the ordered pair. And that helps, because a lot of times, sometimes these are too small and you're not really sure exactly where you're at. But right now I'm at 3, 6. If I go up, that on the right hand over here tells you where you're at. I want the point -7, -8. So I go -7, and now I'm at -7, 0. I go to -8. Oops, I'm over too far. There we go, -7, -8, and you click. That's one of the points on your graph. And if you're doing a graph that's y equals mx plus b, you would go to the y-axis and make a dot and then use your slope. Now my slope is 5 over 1. So I'm going to go from here, I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. And you see how it draws a line for you, and you click. Okay, so you click on a point, and then you can do a slope, or click on another point, or click on the X and Y intercepts. We'll be working with those. But the main thing I wanted you to know is that you do this little pop-up and you press linear, and then you just kind of navigate through that. And then you save it. Okay, and then you can check your answer. Okay. And then if you missed it, they might give you a hint and you go back and you can clear that line and start all over again. So that pretty much is the graphing and some of the navigation of Pearson. You know, if you have any other questions, just let me know. I wanted to leave this. And one thing, always make sure you only have one homework assignment open at a time. Otherwise, you risk losing some of your problems and have to start all over again. So only open one at a time. So make sure one's closed before you open up another one. A quick other things about Pearson is, let's see, I wanted to go back to the student view homepage, not the assignment page. Here we go. Your grade is always here on this right-hand side. Right now it's an 8%, haven't done a lot. So you can always look at your grade. You don't have to text me or email me and say, what's my grade in the class? It's always right there. And then what I'm going to do at the end is I take and I transfer these into Canvas for midterm grades and for final grades. But that is always your grade there. Another way you can look at your grade is if you go to Gradebook over here on the left. You can push Gradebook and it will, let's go ahead and do that. You know, it tells you your percentage, you know, your percentage in the homework, quizzes, test, other, which we don't have any of those. Now it also lists the homework assignments, your score in those homework assignments. Now, what does this review mean here? And again, we're in the grade book in Pearson. The review allows you to review the material. Sorry, there. It allows you to review the material for a test. So when you do, if you wanted to review this homework assignment, in Gradebook, if you push review, you will not change your score. So if you think you're going to up your score here by doing some more of the problems, it's not going to work. You've got to go back to the assignments. What this allows you to do, and they tell you, you are reviewing your homework. Any work you do in here will not change your score. So this is a way to go back and review some of the problems if you want to, is in the Gradebook. So I'm going to push Gradebook again. So there, and again, you'll have your grade there, which is nice. That is a nice thing about Pearson. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about in Pearson is, let's see, where is yours? On yours. I think I have to go get out of Gradebook. So we'll get out of the Gradebook in order for this to show up. Oh, I forgot to tell you about e-text. Rats. Okay, let me go back to the assignments here. I'm going to see whose view I'm in. Yeah, I'm in your assignments. One other thing I forgot to tell you, and I'm just going to briefly say that. So many little things to try to remember. Let's just pick a question. One thing I forgot is, you know, I talked about view an example, which is what I like to use quite a bit, but this one is get more help. If you push get more help, you can go to the textbook. The textbook, if you push this, it will take you to the page in the textbook that talks about this homework problem. So that is also something that you can work on as well. And so great. I wanted to point that out. You could also watch a video on how to do that problem. You can do an animation on that problem. You can email me, ask an instructor. If you wanted to do that directly, I can't get this problem. Help me out. All righty. Okay, so that covers that right there. I'm going to get out of that. I want to leave it. Now, the multimedia library. Yes, multimedia library. This can get you some help. If you miss a class for some reason, or you don't like the way I'm solving a problem, think, well, I wonder if there's another way. You can always go to the multimedia library in your, over here on the left. Yeah, here you can pick a chapter. We're on chapter 3. You're in section 1, or we'll go to 3. You can select all So again, I'm in multimedia library over here. I pick the chapter, I pick the section I'm interested in learning more about, maybe some different ways of doing a problem. I'm going to go ahead and select all, find. And you can use this in your 1400 class. Okay. All right, it did. Sorry, it was down below. So here they have some animations that you could watch on that section. They have some videos, recognizing linear equations video, examples for some of the problems that you can have. You can go to the textbook here. It'll take you to the textbook for that section. These are prep videos, not necessarily they're going to tell you how to do section 3.3, but just the information you need in order to solve problems in 3.3. So again, that multimedia library can also be beneficial if you want another way in order to solve a problem. I think that might be it. Okay, here's the e-text. If you want just the whole book, you can do that. If you don't want to just press a link and get you to a right page, you can use that as well. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I just, enable go ahead and enable the pop-ups. Make sure you allow them. If you have a Mac, make sure that you use Chrome or Firefox and not Safari. You might be able to get away with it at sometimes, but then sometimes it'll kick you out. Remember, your grade is always available. I'm going to go back to assignments. The assignments are listed here when they're due. So again, you can look those over and check that out. Perfect. Well, I think that's all I have. If I can think of anything else, I'll let you know, either through an email or an announcement. All right. Well, otherwise, good luck. And I'm going to get this published so you guys can get into the class. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.